Welcome everyone to Unit 5, Lesson 5. Today, we're going to be talking about the Texas War of Independence, a small conflict that's going to have a major impact on the United States, particularly focusing on the idea of the expansion of slavery. For our central idea, we're going to be seeing how Americans who immigrated to Texas would eventually lead a revolution to seek independence from Mexico, and how they'd eventually hope to join the United States. For our central question, you're going to be determining the impact of the events of the Texas War of Independence on tension within the United States, particularly on the issue of slavery. Looking at these four maps, you can see the difference between cotton production and slavery in the years of 1820 and 1860. The main thing that we're going to see, however, is that we start seeing more movement to the west, with a great deal of cotton production and slavery starting to go into Texas. Texas is still part of Spain, which will eventually lose control to Mexico. But as we get towards 1860, we will see that Texas has been added to America. Today, we're going to be focusing on what caused this, and the tension that will end up coming with this movement of slavery and cotton. Now, it's important to understand that present-day California, New Mexico, Arizona, parts of Utah, Nevada, all of that is under the control of Mexico. For the most part, Mexico is going to have an okay relationship with the United States. They're going to allow Americans to move into the area that they called Texas to help boost its population. They wanted Texas to keep Mexican culture. They didn't want Americans coming in promoting American ideas. But as more Americans move in, they're going to start pushing American ideals. One other thing that they did not want is they did not want slaves becoming into Texas, as Mexico had already outlawed slavery. That is going to be a major sticking point, however. So as we have Americans coming in, tension is going to rise. Texans, particularly those that came from America, are going to feel more loyal to the United States than Mexico. It's a pretty bold concept for Mexico to allow Americans in and expect them to give up their ideologies or viewpoints. Many Texans are going to own slaves, despite the fact that Mexico had outlawed it. And last, we're going to see a new president of Mexico, a guy by the name of Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, who's going to declare himself as a dictator and try to take complete control over everything encompassed in Mexico. And this is going to lead to the Declaration of Independence for Texas. There are two key individuals that you're going to need to know. You have Stephen F. Austin, who's going to help organize the army and is really going to be in charge of that territory at the time. This is why the capital of Texas is known as Austin, Texas today. The other guy you need to know is Sam Houston, who is going to command the Texas Army. One way to remember this is that the city of Houston, named after Sam Houston, is the largest city, and Houston is going to have control of a large army. Because of the action of these two, Texas will declare its independence in 1836. There are only really two battles that we need to know. You're going to have the Battle of the Alamo be the first one, in which the Mexican army is going to surround a Texas force that's in an old monastery in what is now modern-day San Antonio. You're going to end up having 189 Texans surrounded by 1,800 Mexicans, effectively 10 to 1. Despite the fact that they are outnumbered, the Texans are going to fight off the Mexicans for 13 days. All of this, though, does not mean that they gain victory. In the end, the Mexican army is going to win, and every single one of those 189 Texans is going to be killed. The significance of this, though, is it's going to give time for Houston to build up his army, and it's also going to give the Texans a rallying call, something to fight for that may not have been there by this time. The second battle that we're going to see is the Battle of San Jacinto, in which Houston will finally ambush the Mexicans as they're sleeping. Yelling their battle cry of "Remember the Alamo," they are going to win this battle in under 20 minutes. You can fight this battle 3 times in the time that it takes us to go through a full class period. With this battle over, Santa Anna is going to have to recognize Texas independence as a new country, and will lead to the creation of the Republic of Texas. The major consequence of this, though, is that Texas is going to want to be added to the United States. This is going to be the major issue. The North does not want Texas to join because it will have slavery and will become a new slave state. This is going to start the tension of slavery and the expansion westward. And this is going to end up leading to the staircase that will eventually get us to the declaration of the Civil War. Tension here is just going to keep building, and we will focus on that building tension as we go into the next unit starting next Monday. Thank you guys. I will see you then.